You said yes?
No, I'm recording as well.
I'm waiting to hear Shannon say yes, he's always recording.
Is that the African assassin?
Okay, gotcha, cool. So let's go. So let's get it. So what's the topic here? What are going to be debated here?
We could do like the topic we ran last time where we didn't get to finish.
God's existence. What's your stance on the topic?
I could just pick like maybe like a agnostic stance or just like a weak atheist stance.
That's fine. So I'll just take the position that God exists. I'll be defending the position that there's an omnipotent, omniscient creator. By God, I'm talking about an omnipotent, omniscient creator of the universe. Do we sign off on this definition? Yes or no?
I guess you can hold that as your definition. I mean, sincerely, because I'm taking a weak atheistic stance, I would obviously be denying that said definition, or of course, holding to being true.
You deny the definition, so you have a better definition of God?
No, I said that since I'm taking a weak atheistic stance, I wouldn't be really holding to that definition, but you can hold to that specific definition because you're affirming the specific.
So then that means you're not. So what are you denying here? Because a weak atheist could be skeptical towards God existing, correct? Real quickly, yes or no?
What I'm denying in question.
Wait, yes or no? Just answer my question because I don't want to do this dodging stuff. So a weak atheist, in your case, they would be skeptical towards God existing, correct?
So when I consider a weak atheist,
yes or no?
Yeah, I'm trying to answer the question. Can I please do that?
Yeah, but just by saying yes or no. I don't want to fluff and rant. I want a yes or no. So yes or no, would they be skeptical towards God existing? It's a very simple question. It's not a trick question.
Well, I know it's not a trick question, but the whole thing, I feel like if I explain my semantics, I guess we can go off.
You don't have to do with that. It's just a simple yes or no question. It's not a trick question. I'm not trying to gotcha here. Yes or no, before I progress my point onwards. Is a weak atheist going to, hold on, real quickly. Let's not do this, okay? So a weak atheist, you say you're a weak atheist in this conversation. So I'm asking you, as a weak atheist, are you skeptical or are you denying that God exists? Yes or no?
I would be
very simple question.
Type of skeptical, but here's the thing though. The reason why I'm
so the answer is yes. So the answer is yeah. Just say yes. You don't have to be giving me this rant. So we both agree that a weak atheist will be taking this stance, whereas you're going to be skeptical towards God existing. Now, if you're going to be skeptical towards something existing, presumably you have an idea of what that thing is, but you don't know if that thing actually exists or not in the context of theology. So now I'm asking you, if you're going to be sitting here denying the definition, then that means when you're thinking of the word God, or when you use the word God, before you made the claim that you're skeptical of this concept existing, you're having a different definition. Because you claim to deny my definition, you don't hold to my definition. So what is the definition?
Yeah, so basically, like, I just have a question mainly about your specific definition because, like, I don't know if it aligns with any type of Abrahamic beliefs. Is like outside of Abrahamic beliefs, is it like tied to religious beliefs? Like, basically, just this, omni properties. Is it tied to that? Yes or no?
So that doesn't answer my question. So we're going to try again. So the question I've asked you specifically was: is it the case that you hold to a better definition, considering that you made the claim that you deny my definition?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, the condition for me to deny your definition has to have an affirmation on that condition.
First, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question because you don't want to answer my questions. You just want to derail. So I'm going to answer your question. The answer is, of course, does conform. I'm going to answer your question because you begged me to answer your question, right? So the answer to your question is simply yes. It does conform with Abrahamic religion's definition because, for one, we see that in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the 2 of the 99 properties of Allah's nature, or rather sifat, for example, is being all-knowing and being all-powerful. So it conforms with their concept. So now the question has been answered, we're going to get back to my point. Now, the definition that I'll be operating under within this context, which is conventionally used in philosophy and theology, by the way, which for some reason you're not accepting, which is ridiculous, but we're going to get over that, right? So the definition is God is an omnipotent, omniscient creator of the universe. Do we accept or reject that definition before we move on into proving that this being exists? Yes or no? Not a fluff and rant, just a yes or no.
Specifically, I can go ahead and grant that I don't hold towards these specific Abrahamic gods existing. That's what I would consider an atheistic stance.
Irrelevant to my question. Want to try again?
that's an answer to the question because that would have an.
No, it doesn't. We're not talking about your perspective on whether or not the thing exists. We're talking about your perspective on the definition of the terminology. So hold on a second. So what you're doing here is a meta-linguistical analysis, not a ontological analysis. So you're just dead wrong with this. You're incorrect on your assessment here. I'm asking you, with respects to your definition of this linguistic token, if you understand what that is, do you accept the definition that presented? I'm not asking you if you accept the existence of the thing represented by the linguistic token. I'm asking you if you accept the definition of the linguistic token. There's a distinction between metalinguistics, or linguistical analysis, and ontological or metaphysical analysis. So could you please answer my question without derailing? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm saying I just hold towards a distinct definition of a God, and that's what I would consider.
What's your definition of God?
Yeah, I'm just saying anything that's outside of Abrahamic belief and shit like that. That's what I was trying to get to.
So you're telling me that the omnipotent, omniscient creator is not something which is in alignment with Abraham, correct?
I'm sorry, I had to change rooms. Go ahead.
You said that's you said the definition of God that you take to be different from my definition is something which is in alignment with Abrahamic definitions of God or Abrahamic religious definition of God. Meaning that the claim you'd be making fundamental here is that my definition is out of alignment with Abrahamic religious definition. Could you prove this claim?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not really saying, oh yeah, your specific definition's out of alignment. Like I don't know where you're getting that from. I'm saying
that's entailed from your agreement, by the way. That's entailed from what you just said.
Hold on. So first of all, let's talk about my stance. And when you asked me for my analytics of God, I sat there and gave you something that was outside of Abrahamic belief, so it's not entailed completely at all. I don't know what you're getting from. Considering that's an individualistic. Sorry, I started there. Individualistic. Question towards a individual person. So I don't see why it would have to have some type of unilateral perspective on things. That's like kind of like retarded in that perspective. But go ahead. You see, like.
Yeah, so that was an irrelevant response to what I said. That was a flaccid, impotent response for this reason, right? You told me that your definition of God is distinct from my definition of God. And then you said your definition of God is in alignment with the Abrahamic religious definition, or what Abrahamic religion believes or perceives God as. So for it to be the case that your definition is distinct from my definition, or your definition is in alignment with what Abrahamic religion perceived God to be, it has to be the case that my definition has to be out of alignment with the Abrahamic religious definition, because if it was to be in alignment, then there'd be no distinction between my definition and your definition. But you believe there to be a distinction. So I'm going to ask you once again, what's the proof for it being out of alignment with Abrahamic religious definition of God? Tell me, what's the proof of that? That's the claim you're making fundamentally. That's the presupposition you're making here. Tell me.
Real quick, on before you start, going on like, wait, tell me.
I'm not yelling.
I'm gonna
ask the tone police me. Okay,
so I'm trying to ask a question. It's a clarifying question, right? I'm asking you.
Another dodge, huh? Okay.
Are you referring to a unilateral perspective? Like, because I couldn't fully hear you because you're like fucking muffling, like just like whatever your fucking mic's doing. I just it's muffled.
My mic is bugging, so I'll just repeat myself. Shinner, am I bugging on the recording? Because I'm not going to talk if I'm bugging out.
So I'm just gonna sit here and like ask again real quick.
Check. Could you tell me if I'm bugging out or something? Because I can go to a place with better connection.
Might just be my device, but I'm just gonna sit here and like ask.
Wait, I'm gonna ask the chat first before we continue, because I'm not gonna be talking when my mic is bugging out. I want the recorder to get every single thing I'm saying.
So don't worry, you're not bugging out, bro. You're not bugging out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Continue. Go ahead, Sam. Continue.
Yeah. So the thing I'm trying to ask is that because were you saying last time that your definitions entail to have some type of distinction from Abraham beliefs as well because of mine, or like I was not hearing you correctly?
That's a deflection, and I've never made that claim. If you get the recording of me making that claim, that would be lovely, but I've never made that claim. Now again, I'm going to re-ask the question, right? So the presupposition you're making is that my definition of God, which is simply an omnipotent, omniscient creator, is out of alignment with the Abrahamic religion's definition. And I'm going to ask you one more time, hopefully you'll answer this on the fifth try. Is it the case that you have proof for this claim? And if so, what's the proof for the claim that my definition is out of alignment with the Abrahamic religious definition?
You said out of alignment?
Yep. What's the proof of that claim?
First of all, I wasn't even targeting your definition or analytics. I was just giving my analytics. There was no claim towards your analytics. I'm simply saying my definition has a disagreement with your specific definition, right? So, like, I don't know where
incorrect.
I messed up.
You telling me that you deny my definition is you talking about my definition. So you're in fact targeting my definition by expressing your disbelief towards my definition and your belief towards a different definition, which I think is more conventional and is in alignment with the Abrahamic religious definition. So that's incorrect. You're wrong at that.
No, I don't think my definition would be in alignment with Abrahamic religion, considering I'm taking.
You just said your definition of God is in alignment with the Abrahamic religious definition of God, which is what makes it different from my definition.
Abrahamic religion. If it disagrees with that, it should have no agreement with on it. Like, that's just a fucking contradiction.
You're not understanding. This is on the recording, and you're embarrassing yourself, right? 1,000% you said specifically, I'm 1,000% certain enough that you can roll back the clip afterwards and you're going to be embarrassed. What you said verbatim, word for word, is my definition is in alignment with the Abrahamic religious definition after you said you denied my definition.
No,
what are you talking about? That's your definition of God.
It disagrees with it. I affirm some type of deity existence, but it's outside of Abrahamic religions. You're the one who gave the affirmation saying it aligns with that by affirming some type of omni properties when I asked the question. You agreed to that and you gave an example by sitting there and saying,
yeah, so firstly, what you said was that your definition was in alignment with it. So that's just a switch of the claims. But anyways, let's move forward.
I'm saying you're saying and taking the atheistic stance. There's no agreement with that.
Yeah, you're not really understanding what's going on here. This is embarrassing stuff, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rerun the dialogue here and just hopefully can stay on track here, right? So let's see. The definition that I present of God, which is omnipotent, omniscient creator, it seems to be the case that you don't take it to be true that an omnipotent, omniscient creator would be God, correct?
So what? I screwed my back. Okay, so you said just for
no, hold on, real quickly. I'm going to re-ask the question. You're not going to just not share my question and then talk over me and derail from my actual question. So I'm going to re-ask the question because you're dodging.
Omni-creation, omni-property.
Omniproperties. Yes.
Right? Okay, right.
Yeah, do you take that to be God? Yes or no?
Okay, what I take to be God, right? You're asking that question?
I'm asking if you take that specifically to be sufficient or something to be God.
Okay. First of all, are you asking in terms of your analytics or my analytics? Because we had a whole entire confusion about.
Oh my God, dude. So I'm going to re-ask the question in a different way. So I'm going to give you a multiple choice question. It's going to be 3 options, A, B, and C. So is it going to be the case that given your definition or your analysis, your concept of God, irrespective of believing this concept to exist or not, is it the case that given your concept of God, it is the case that a sufficient condition for something to be God is for it to be an omnipotent, omniscient creator of the universe? A, yes. B, no. C, neither of the above. Therefore, I'm a dumb fuck dodger. Which one is it?
Okay, so you're talking about your analytics. Great. Glad you
A, B, or C. Which one is it? Is it C?
Which one of the options?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Holy shit, man. Stop doing that.
I'm waiting for the yes or no. Or maybe it's just going to be C, which is going to be you being a dumb fuck and you being a dodger. Which one is it?
Again, I'm going to answer the question. I don't think your analytics.
Yes or no?
We're saying, oh yeah, omni property or omni.
So the answer is C. So the answer is C.
No, I'm answering the question. If you just heard me,
So what's the yes or no? Which one is it?
It's sufficient, right? I just said it's not sufficient.
Okay, so that means the answer is B. The answer is B, no. Got you. So that means that we're not even having the debate properly, but there's no debates here to be had because when you're saying you're skeptical or deny that God exists, you're talking about something completely different. Correct?
Okay, so first of all, I'm just saying that your idea of God is like
yes or no. It was a yes or no question, by the way.
Because I'm not going to keep playing this.
I'm not asking for a TED Talk or an autobiography. I'm asking for a yes or no to my question.
Substance-filled debate.
You're just derailing, you're deflecting, and this is embarrassing stuff. This is bad for you optically. This is optically embarrassing. This is optically embarrassing. Look, lock in. I'm going to re-ask the question. I'm going to re-ask the question. Okay, I'm going to re-ask the question. The question is, you're just deflecting. This is embarrassing. The question is, would it be the case, or do you agree now that there's no debate proposition to be had? Yes or no?
Right? Can I ask you a question?
Deflecting again.
Right?
You won't answer the question. Do you even know what the question is? What was my question? What was my most
Just
recent
so we
question?
can go back into the substance.
What was my most recent question?
And if you mouthing
We're
off,
on the
it's no
substance. We're
fucking
talking
truth.
about the necessary conditions for there to be even the debates right now. What was my most recent question? Tell me. You don't remember, don't you?
It's simple, multiple
Tell
choice
me.
one. When you're talking about your fucking
No, that was not the most recent question, you moron, you idiot. My most recent question was me asking you, do you now agree that given the fact that you have a different definition of God because you rejected my analytics of God, then that means you're talking past each other? And I said, correct. And you derailed and went off to a non-point again. We're just talking past each other. We're not agreeing. There's no debate prop here. Because when you're just saying that you're skeptical of God existing, you have a completely different notion of what God is. So that's irrelevant. We're not even debating again. There's no debate to be had.
Okay.
Because what I mean by God is something completely different.
Paul, let me lay this out for you, and I hope you can surely understand. I hope I'm coherent enough because I can certainly write down an entire biography for you for my entire semantics if you want. So I'm going to give this to you.
I'm not asking for that. I'm not
Do you
asking for
need a
all that.
writing? Do you need my semantics?
I'm not asking for all that.
Do
I
you
don't.
need
That's
writing? Or
irrelevant.
do you
You're
need
not
the
even
semantics?
understanding the fundamental
Do
issue
you
with
need
this
to
dialectic.
explain this at BC or do you need it writing? Do you need it
Yeah,
written
this
or
guy's
do you need
just
it explained to BC?
lost in the
Answer
conversation.
the question.
Dude, you understand that when you have a debate proposition, hold on. If I'm debating you on whether or not, let's say, unicorns exist, and if you mean by unicorn like a rock, if by unicorn, when you use that word, all you mean there is rock, and by a unicorn, what I mean is a horse with a horn which flies around in the sky, and I say unicorns do not exist, and you say unicorns exist. You understand we're not disagreeing, right? There's no disagreement there because we're just talking past each other. The same logic applies here. If you have a different definition of God, which is not the same as my definition of God and is completely different given your own perspective, then essentially we're talking past each other and there's no meaningful disputes, and therefore there cannot be a debate to begin with. There's no debate proposition. Which is why I keep on asking you, do you sign up on my definition, at least for the sake of the conversation? Just answer the question, dude.
So, real quick, I'm going to say here, I'm going to explain to you, right? And I don't think that's analogous at all, by the way. I'm going to explain why if you want to. Like, so first of all, when you explain,
I didn't expect you to believe that, by the way,
when
because
you're
you just don't
explaining
track
and
conversation.
dispensing towards or just stipulating with that analogy, right? You're trying to get that measurement of how the conversation is going, right? Trying to fit that analogy in there, right? I don't think when you sit there and affirm that, oh yeah, I'm saying this possibly can, I'm just gonna explain. But hopefully I can calm down real quick because this fucking meta rambling is bullshit. But the unicorn point is that it's supposed to be analogous, right? And basically, you're affirming two definitions, right? But we're talking about one that agrees with Abrahamic things, right? The God in question is yours. You're the one who said that's in line with that. Via the only properties, you gave the example via giving the 99 properties of Allah, right? See, that is sitting there and aligning with Abrahamic things, right? I'm sitting here saying, oh yeah, I can agree with the notion of a God existing, but it's not concretely the same or identical towards yours, right? So I am sitting here and offering a chance of definitions, right? Trying to understand your analytics so we can go off your analytics and argue about that specific God and see if an actual omnipotent.
Okay, so the answer is you're willing. So just to be clear on this, because just to wrap up the little autobiography session you're giving off, right? So basically, you're willing to operate under my definition for the sake of this conversation to have a debate? Yes or no?
Okay, so are you asking in the sense, are we arguing over, or are you asking me to agree to it?
What part of my sentence was hard to understand, retard?
I'm trying to ask you of the implicatives. Like, I'm not asking for a direct clarity.
I'm going to re-ask the question, okay? Because you have this like nasty tendency to just say everything but a yes or no to yes or no questions, right? So the question I'm asking you is, are you willing, even if you disagree with my definition and you have a different idea of God, are you willing to go under my definition of God for the sake of having a debate right now? Yes or no?
Yeah, okay. I asked you in which context, and the context is we're sitting.
In the context of this conversation, what other contexts could I be talking about?
Context of the conversation. But which fucking
in the context of this conversation, we're just trying to aim to have a debate on the given topic, dude. What are you talking about? I'm actually gonna crash out. This guy's retarded. I'm gonna crash out. Oh shit, dude. Just say yes or no to my question.
I'm asking you, and you're
what is hard to answer about?
what's important to the specific context of the conversation? Go ahead and answer
No,
it.
he's just lost. He just does not have working brain cells anymore, guys. Look, I'm asking you again. And this is I'm gonna before you even try to answer my question, I'm gonna ask anyone in the voice call to see if this question is complex or is it just a simple yes or no question, which is not a trick question. So yes or no, say, but this is just a honest question. I'm not trying to get you in a rat trap or anything, or dialectically trap you into like anything, right? I'm asking you, is it the case that you're willing, irrespective of you disagreeing with my definition, are you willing to agree and go under my definition of what God is for the sake of having a debate on the topic of whether or not God exists? Yes or no? And by the way, before you even give your rant, wait, before you respond, chat or anyone in the voice call, is this question too complex to answer? Can you not just say a yes or no to it? Is it too complex? Does it require like a 10-minute ranting session and you just ask for context of that bullshit? Is it a simple question, chat? I just want to hear the chat's opinions on this. Maybe I'm tripping out. I'm not sure. Like, what's going on? Simple yes or no question? Okay, gotcha. Very simple. Okay, so even someone who has a consistent trend of disagreeing with me agrees. It's very simple. Okay, now I want to hear your answer, and I hope I don't get like an overly extended response, which is neither a yes nor a no to my. Let me hear what this is going to say.
All right. So the consensus from Val, I wouldn't take that because I mean, Mr. Two Yeshayas, ain't really very competent there. But I'm gonna sit here and try my best to answer the question. Seemingly, I was trying to ask what operate goes under, as in agreeing to argue over the definition, as that's what my
No,
original.
agree with my definition, obviously.
Okay,
Obviously.
finally, we got an answer to the question. We finally got an answer to the
That
question.
was a dumb question you had to ask me. That was a dumb, obvious
There's
question you
no
had to
way.
ask me.
He
What does
finally
operate
answered the
mean?
question. Holy shit,
I
bro!
finally answered your dumbass question because I never thought someone could not understand what it means to operate under something. I thought you're socially competent. I thought you're mentally competent enough to understand what it means to say that you're operating under a given definition. But apparently, I had to teach you basic social cues and kind of take your pockets and walk you through what it means to say this claim. But yes, say, but what I mean when I'm asking if you're going to operate under my definition is if you're going to be agreeing to my definition. Yes, Saba. That was a very obvious thing. That was a very obvious answer. I never expected you to answer. I never expected you to ask me this dumb question, this dumb, autistic, obvious question. I expected a more substantive response. So is the answer? A yes or no?
Holy shit, bro!
Holy shit is not a response to my question. You want to try again?
Sure, I can argue under that definition. I'll argue against the definition.
Lovely. So the answer is a yes. Lovely. We're getting there. We're having some progression, guys. Okay, got you. So just to refresh the debate, refresh the conversation, guys. So basically, the definition of God we're both going under for the sake of this dialectical discourse is an omnipotent, omniscient creator. My opponent Saba will be taking the negation insofar as he's a weak atheist. He's skeptical of this being existing, and they'll be taking the affirmative. I affirm that this being exists, given my theistic commitments. Now, I presume this is going to ask me for an argument, which I'll give an argument right now. However, this argument is going to hinge on certain meta-ontological commitments, which I'll ask him quite frankly, what is his meta-ontological analysis? What is your meta-ontology?
Sorry, I didn't hear. I was just focused on, cleaning my face with water because I'm sweating.
Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, you asked for a meta-ontological analysis, yeah?
Yeah, what's your meta-ontology?
Yeah, so, okay, so mainly, are you asking for the meta-ontology, like something like concretely existing like God, for an example? Or just existence in general?
Universally general for the existence concept.
All right, yeah. Maybe I could just sit here and say, I accept, maybe about, reality being like some type of subjective experience, but I'm not going to go down that route, and I could just accept some type of other existential cause for reality, except, not specifically a
What?
creator.
Wait, hold on, stop. What is meta-ontology?
You I asked you a question and you answered universally for specifically speaking about the inquiry about existence.
No, you asked me for the context, right? So you're asking if I'm talking specifically about God's case of created existence or something else. I'm saying I'm talking about universally. Now I'm going to ask you because all of your responses just seems to be really intellectually bankrupt, respectfully. What is your definition of meta-ontology here?
Definition of meta-ontology, just the standard definition. Any other definition. So let me get this.
What's the definition?
Let me get this straight real quick, just to make sure I'm not tripping. Something that you
Holy
asked.
shit, dude!
No. It's very simple and very quick. When you say universally, right? You're referring to existence.
I'm torturing myself, Brian. I'm intellectually torturing myself with this debate.
Are you asking, dude, specifically about
Why do you make simple questions so complicated? This is not rocket science. This is not quantum mechanics. This is not like some high-level chemistry. Dude, these are just basic questions which even the average layman could understand. What is your definition of this? What do you mean by this? Very simple stuff. What are you doing, dude? You have to go all the way into like these galaxies of rabbit holes and not actually answer very basic one-dimensional questions. Answer.
Yeah, mainly speaking was, you do realize when you say meta debate analysis, right? I asked you in reference towards God's existence, concretely existing, or existence. You said universally. So universally applying towards specifically like existence, or are you applying that towards specifically?
That is what meta-ontology is about, you dumbass nigga. Holy shit, meta-ontology is only about existence concept. What else could it be about?
Okay, so you were confused over that, and despite that, you
I'm confused about what? What am I confused about? Because I can just flip the definition.
No. Okay, go on.
Right?
Okay, go on.
If you knew what meta-ontology is, which you don't, if you knew what meta-ontology is, which you don't, you'd have not been asking me these clarifying questions with obvious answers, because you'd have already known the answer, because you know what meta-ontology is, which you don't, because you're not read that. So by meta-ontology, what I mean here, so I'm not going to continue to press you for a definition, because you're never going to give a definition because you're shy. You know for a fact if you give a definition, you might slip up and you might look embarrassed. Okay, so meta-ontology is just assessing the conditions for existence, right? Primarily in this context. Now, tell me what defines, or what are the defining, or what is the defining condition for existence? Please do.
I said some type of other like cause that is not God. In that sense, I mean,
some other cause that is not God. So what do you mean by exist? Is some other cause which is not God? That's what you mean by exist?
Some that causes existence, and then I take some type of physicalist stance.
Something that causes existence. That is a retarded definition. That is one of the most retarded definitions I've ever heard in my entire life, by the way.
You didn't hear me out, right? I said something other than that is not God is a ultimate cause which causes reality to exist.
Okay, so we're going to type out the definition from Sabo of what existence is. Okay, so existence. So your definition of existence. Relax, dude. Just just relax. Put that pacifier in your mouth for a second and just take a breather. So existence. Just repeat the definition. So for the debate,
right? Since we're debating God's existence, right? Yes, like
no, just what's your definition of existence? Stay on topic, stay on track.
Yeah,
I'm trying my best not be retarded.
I'm trying to answer the question.
Existence. Right? Okay, so answer the question right now. Just don't try to use these word switch ups midpoint while they're trying to answer the question to derail the conversation. Existence. Right. What is your definition of existence in the context of ontological conversations, existential claims? I'm going to type it out.
I think reality is concrete. Obviously speaking, as I said, something that is not God. A cause causes reality to exist, therefore
existence is something that is not God.
No, I did not say that, right?
So that means it was dodged to my question. We're going to try again. So my question was me asking you, what is your definition of existence? If you're telling me that what you're saying right now is that you're giving a definition of existence, then that means you're answering or responding to my question. I'm going to ask you again. Existence. Let's start over. Try number 2, or strike number 2 for the retard. Existence. Let's start again. What's your definition? Okay, so I don't know why you're tapping into the chat to convince people you're winning the conversation. Just my point. Existence.
Causes existence.
So existence is a cause which is not God. What else?
Oh no.
So that was what you just said verbatim. You said a while ago, a cause which is not God. You want to you want to play the rhetoric game?
I'm trying to
You really want to
give
do this?
my answer.
You
You
want
keep-
to? Oh, we can play the rhetoric game as much as you want. That's fine. That's lovely. That's lovely. Okay, let's step up the rhetoric. So look at this though. Existence. I'm asking you, what's your defining conditions for existence? Now you said out of your dumb retarded lips or dumb retarded mouth, you said existence is a cause which is not God. Now, if you're going to tell me right now that what you're telling me is not something which is the definition of existence, then essentially it was a dodge to my question. It was a deflection. So we're going to try again. Third try. Existence. What is your definition of existence? And I assume, by the way, that everything which comes out of your mouth after this question is going to be a definition of existence. So what's the definition of existence?
You know what, right? So
Tell me.
cut me off this time. Try not to cut me off. Listen clearly. It's not
I'm
the hard.
listening. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Respond.
good boy,
Stop to the
good boy.
posture.
Good
Stop to
boy.
the rhetorical posture.
Right.
Good boy. He
Oh,
says.
hey,
Same as says while trying to rhetorically posture,
I'm
thinking he's
saying-
rhetorically dominant. Yeah,
Listen.
each time he thinks that he calls someone a good boy, thinks he's going to be rhetorically persuasive. But is Sable going to answer the questions?
See,
Or just trying to posture because he's a retard? Let's see. Waiting for the answer. Waiting for the answer.
I simply said that existence is caused by a cause which is not God, but concretely exists.
Existence is a cause. Existence is repeat.
No,
Wait, hold on.
existence
Mumbo
is
jumbo
not-
time.
my lord.
Oh, you're spewing
No,
mumbo jumbo.
here's
You're
the-
spewing
here's
mumbo
the-
jumbo.
here's
The
the thing.
vacuous mumbo
Here's-
jumbo.
oh,
Repeat back the sentence. Let's go slowly. We're going to type it out together. Okay? Existence is, you're scared for me to type out the definition because you know for a fact the moment I type out the word for it, dumb shit you say. You can't lie about you never saying this because you have it typed down in the chat. So we're going to go slowly. Just repeat the words very slowly so that we know for a fact that no one is getting their words incorrect or no one misheard you. So existence is caused by a cause which is not God but concretely exists. That's your definition? Retard?
That's what I would
You
say.
spook?
Something existing to be. Existence as a whole is something concrete, and then there's a space which
Existence as a whole is something
which is
concrete. Wait, stop. Don't talk while I'm typing in the word. Just let me type this out first, and then we'll get back. Existence as a whole is something which is concrete. You signed up for this proposition, right? Retard? Check the chat.
Do you have any type of objection or no?
Hold on. Do you sign off on it? Yes or no?
Sign off with this. I mean, you know what? So we can
That's
get
what he
past
said
this
verbatim.
point.
We are
So we can
typing
get
out what you're
past
saying
this
in real
fucking
time.
point.
We're
Go
typing
ahead.
out what you're saying in real time. So you cannot say you don't sign off for this because you just said it. Yes or no? Do you sign off for this?
To get past this point, you know what? Sure, go ahead. Holy shit! Because when I
Get
try to
past this
speak,
point, it's an obvious yes. You just said this verbatim. Anyway, so moving on. So before, and just to be clear for the audience, by the way, and for the recording and people who watch this recording, all right? When I demolish or expose the retarded nature of this definition or this point, he cannot say that I'm strong man in his position. He cannot say that I'm misinterpreting his position, nor can he say that he didn't say this because we have it typed out in the chat. So you cannot lie about you never saying this, like what the retards do when they get caught in a rat trap. Okay, lovely. Now, do you believe it is logically possible for there to be non-concrete existence?
no. Well, I would just assign to a modal anti-realist and accept only one possible world.
Yes or no?
So again, okay, wait. When you say logically possible, are you like affirming some type of modal realist like thing? Or are you like saying, oh yeah,
No, you dumbass. Obviously not. It's conceptually open to both modal fictionalism and modal realism. Now answer my question. Yes or no? Come on, dude. I believe in you, son. Answer the question.
okay, so you're asking me, right, the question. You know,
Oh, he doesn't understand the question. He's lost in the sauce. He's lost in the sauce. You're lost in the sauce, dude. Answer the question, you dumbass. Nigga, answer the question.
And you're like,
Yes or no?
not cut me off? Yes or no?
Can you just answer the question? Yes or no?
Just how
So
many
you're
times do I have to kill you, sweetheart? Oh, hell no.
I don't know who that guy was, but anyways, answer the question.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're asking me if it's
Is it
logical.
logically possible?
Mhm.
Yeah, is it logically possible?
Something non-concrete to
Is it
exist.
logically possible for there to be a non-concrete existence? Yes or no? Is that logically possible?
I would be denying that because of contradictions.
you'll be denying this because what? Sorry.
Because of course, contradictions within the ontology of existence. I mean, it's pretty simple. You should have already deducted that, but I have to explain that because you're wouldn't want to insult you, but go ahead.
The stutter is embarrassing. So let's
That is
just go back. So
okay.
I ask you this question not because I don't believe there's a logical contradiction given your definition, but to test your consistency to see if you're going to trap yourself in like a retard. So you're consistent with your dumb definition. That's fine. So what do you define as concrete?
Defined as concrete, something which is actually existing, mind independent.
Okay, so you understand that like this is not the general definition of what concrete means in philosophy.
Okay, can you go ahead and wait? Just
Prove
a
that
question.
claim?
Wait, hold on. No,
I'm to prove that. That's easy. I can prove it right now. You want me to prove
I
it?
didn't
Yes or
say
no?
prove that. No, I didn't say prove
Okay,
that.
gotcha. So what do you want me to answer?
No, okay, right. So no clowning off the side, please. I would appreciate that. But mainly speaking, do you think there's something wrong with my semantical content? Yes or no?
So that doesn't really answer my question. That doesn't really just my.
I'm asking you.
So you always do this thing. So guys, this is the dumb fuck debate strategy stage 1. So when they get asked a question, they ask the person another question to deviate from the actual question, and then accuse the person of dodging their question, which is irrelevant to the original question. Now I'm going to re-ask the question, which is, do you understand that your definition of concreteness or concrete existence is not is not reflective of the conventional definition of concrete, both in a layman interpretational sense and in a academic philosophical scholastic sense? Yes or no? Do you understand?
Can you? I just asked you if you had any type of problems, which you're now affirming. So you can go ahead and explain. Yes or no?
So the dumb fuck debate strategy on display stage 1 again. So ask me a question instead of answering my question. I ask the question first, answer my question.
So you asked me if I understand. I'm putting the thing you said into question. Go ahead, just go ahead, explain or just define what philosophically, academically speaking.
That doesn't answer my question. I've asked you a simple yes or no question. Every single time I ask you a simple yes or no question, you make the question more complex than it actually is, and don't respond to the question. It's like you're so I always get into that.
Answer the question. Answer the question. Bitch made up. What is this lame?
Who is this guy, dude?
Wait.
Are you his boyfriend or something? Are you his boyfriend or something? Who's this guy? His boyfriend stepping into the conversation to basically just give him some rhetoric points. Look at he thinks that mocking me in the sidelines is going to give his boyfriend some rhetorical points. And no one is going to mute him, by the way. He's loving this. He's loving the fact that someone interrupts So look at this. He just keeps on going, no moderation, no muting, because this is what the server loves. The server loves seeing it gets saved when it gets spanked into the conversation. And by the way, clear this. Just to be super clear, this. We have this on the recording. We have this on the clip. So this is embarrassing for not just Sable, but his boyfriends also. Thank you very much for the person who muted him, but let's just get back. And by the way, Sable, just because your boyfriend interrupted just to save you a while ago, I still remember the question because I have great tracking skills, I have great memory, I have great articulation, and a great level of intelligence.
Oh my
So I need to
God,
do it
bro.
again. He's interrupting me again.
Oh, excellent, bro. Stop. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
look at the boyfriend. Save his kiddo. Look at this son. Look at this kid. What a moron. What an imbecile. Just want to step into the conversation. And Sable loves this. He's on mute, hoping that the conversation derails. Now back to you, Sable. I don't forget the question, by the way, as I've told, because my memory speed and tracking speed is unparalleled. So I'm telling you right now, my question was me asking you, do you understand that your definition of concrete in the context of that specific definition is not in conformity with the colloquial and the academic definition? Yes or no?
And I asked
Do
you
you accept that it is in conformity with it, or do you reject this? Which one is it?
So again, you said or just made the affirmative claim that my definition is not in alignment with academically, philosophically, or just layman.
Everything but a yes or a no to my question.
I'm putting your affirmative claim, which followed the
affirmative claim.
So you go ahead and provide the definition instead of
someone can ask if you understand something which is false without making the claim that's true. That's not an affirmative claim. I'm not making any claim to my question. I'm asking you, do you understand this to be the case? You could just say, I don't accept it to be the case. I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Without me affirming that it is in fact.
Clearly,
So
if I'm
yes or no?
you to provide a philosophical
He just
definition,
won't answer the question. He just won't answer the question. He just won't
to
answer.
answer the question. I want the definition to answer the
So
question.
he's not answering the question. So that's a dodge. That's a deflection. He just won't answer the question. So since you just won't answer any questions because you just don't have the intellectual and mental acuity and faculty to engage with basic questions, basic one-dimensional, simple, rudimentary questions. I'm going to do the job for you, and then I'm going to give my perspective on my own question, which is directed towards you, which you're dodging and running away from like Usain Bolt. The answer is yes, I do in fact understand, Apollo, that this is in fact not in conformity with the academic definition and the layman definition. And the reason as to why I understand this, Apollo, is because when I check the definition of concreteness on SCP, it's defined in virtue of spatio-temporal relations, a spatio-temporal object. That is not the indication that you mentioned in this conversation. So yes, Apollo, I understand this. You see, Sable, I just took your role in this conversation, answered the very simple question, and just taught you how to answer questions. That's how you answer questions, Sable. You don't go off on derail points and try to rant and meta rant into irrelevant stuff and try to basically get the person making an affirmative claim. You just say a yes or a no, and then give your perspective afterwards. That's how you answer questions, son. So moving forward, I expect you to learn something from the mini lecture. Now, we're going to do this again. You said that your definition of existence is going to be that which is concrete existence, which is mind independent. So that means your definition of existence is that which is mind independent, correct?
So,
Correct.
no, hold on.
Answer is an obvious yes. It is correct. You just can't answer questions. I'm going to take Saba's role again. Yes, Apollo, that is correct because I specifically defined concrete existence into my definition of existence and into concreteness to be mind independence. The answer is yes, Apollo. Okay, Saba, the answer is yes. So you have to do your job for you because you're retarded. So the answer is yes, Saba. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. Because I just can't answer questions, I'm going to have to do it for you, even though it's obviously a yes, given the entailments of what you've said previously. So, with that being taken into perspective, do you think that imaginations exist? Do you think you have imaginations? Yes or no?
Oh my! You know what? I'm gonna explain something to you real quick. Like, can I?
Okay, maybe I have to take Saba's role again. I have to take Saba's role again. Do I have to do this again, like the third time? Yes or no? Do you agree that imaginations exist? Not mind independently, but do you agree they exist? Yes or no? Do you have imaginations?
So I'm trying to like give some type of like response, but I keep getting cut off. I know. I wonder why.
Yeah, you're not giving the response to my question. You're just talking to yourself and just talking like something
because your
else. I don't know what you're
question,
talking.
I feel like a fully
Mhm.
explained thing, which isn't too long. I'm pretty sure can simply just go ahead and give you like some.
You just don't. You just can't answer questions, can't you? You just can't answer questions.
No, because you think because like, let me
My
just
God,
explain.
dude.
You think somehow that if I ask a yes or no question constantly, consistently through the without action.
Waiting for the answer, Lothar. Waiting for the answer.
So I'm gonna go ahead and explain some real quick. Now, no cutting off this time.
Waiting for the answer. Yes or no?
We get
Do you
some
have
moderation.
imaginations?
Thank you. So I can go ahead and speak.
Do you have imaginations, dude?
Can I get some moderation so I can speak before he
You
tries
need
to cut me?
moderation to say a yes or no.
I just don't want you to cut me off so I can actually speak, preferably.
I won't cut you off if you say yes or no, which are the only relevant responses.
No, that is not the only relevant responses.
And this is the only relevant response because the question is talking about whether or not you agree to disagree on something. So if you're saying something outside of you agreeing to disagree on it, then it would be irrelevant by definition.
No, because I have like a lot to say about some of the claims you've been making.
A lot outside of you agreeing to disagreeing, then that means it's irrelevant.
No, it's not outside. It's within the said things brought up within the convo. That's what's relevant.
You're stuttering, you're fumbling, you're stumbling, you're stammering. You know for a fact you're saying nonsense. You know it. You know it deep down, but your debate bro intuitions don't want to actually accept it. Your debate bro mentality don't want to accept the very obvious reality. If you dodge in my question because you're a loater. Right? So I'm just asking if you agree to disagree on something. That's all I'm asking, dude. Do you agree that you have imagination, Sable? Not a trick question.
So
have you ever imagined something, Sable? Have you ever imagined the Santa Claus? Answer. Wait.
So again, right?
10 seconds.
I just put you on a local mute real quick so I can actually fucking speak. Holy shit, man.
10, 9, 8,
right? So,
7.
specifically speaking,
6.
I'm going to go ahead and give a response. And
Okay, so he starts responding. Let's see if he's going to answer the question.
so, one thing I just want to go back onto was another point was the philosophical
Go back
definition.
onto something else. Oh, so you're not going to answer the question. You're going to go to something else, a previous point. Okay, cool. That's a dodge again.
I'm gonna go
This is
back
what I'm talking
because like, I had a response, but I wasn't allowed to like fucking speak because that like fucking guy came in.
You do not have a relevant response. I can grant you the response, but it was a irrelevant trash response to my question. So I'm going to have to cut you off and put you back on track.
Good lord, bro! Holy shit, man. So real quick, can I just get some type of moderation to get this guy to shut up and like so I can speak? Like I've been asking for that
This
for
guy
a
just
while.
won't answer any questions. Oh my god, dude.
Guy packing it.
I'll give you 30 seconds to talk. I'll go on mute right now.
Severely.
And let's see if we're gonna actually respond to my question.
Okay, so he's finally on mute. Holy shit, man! Right. So the thing I want to get into, mainly speaking wise, was the thing about like the definitions point, so I can actually argue on that point and fucking defend myself instead of you claiming, oh yeah, it's incorrect or not colloquial with the specific academic philosophical definition, right? You made that claim, right? I want to sit here and try and go against that claim, provide some type of actual response which is sufficient for my own point, right? Instead, if you consistently cutting me off. So for the recording, to be honest, he keeps cutting me off because he's actually a little scared fucking pussy, right? So I hope that hurt his ego too. So when I say concretely existing, I just mean physical.
Oh, wait, I'm unmuted now.
Stop.
Yo, actually, I have to stop, bro. I have to stop.
I'm just trying to speak. I keep like getting too many fucking interruptions, bro. Holy shit, man. So when I said something concretely exists, I said I'm taking a physicalist stance where everything's preserved within space-time. Like that's what a physicalist should accept. Everything's fucking physical. We're like grounded by that. That's like the implications of that specific stance. Like that's the implications. I'm not saying I verbatim stated that, but that should be within the specific taken thing. When I sit here and say, oh yeah, it's physical in that sense, because before I got forced to agree to a specific definition, that's something I said, right? But even then, concretely existing should have that implicated because, as you said, it's temporal, like space-time fucking relations, fucking like implicated with that. It's relationship indicative of that, right? That's what you even said. So I don't see why, by definition, would it fail to align specifically, even if it has the implicatives, right? Concretely existing. So something concretely existing. Existence is within space-time. Again, if there's something wrong with that view, I want some type of response towards that worldview, which kind of goes against that semantic entailment. Because severely speaking wise, I don't see why you're saying, oh yeah, it's not necessarily the same way, but then not going ahead and providing why for why again, like you just definition. You
I can finish now. Yeah, that's it.
any specific
Yeah,
definition.
so 20 seconds of our time have been wasted. Oh, he's not done yet. Finish up. He's not done. No. He sounds autistic. He can't even track us. He sounds autistic.
You're not going to speak over me. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit.
You've been speaking over me the entire time. We've been speaking over each other.
You let me. I'm supposed
We've been speaking over each other, you moron.
Look. Oh my god, look. Wait. Siba. I'm gonna put you on mute real quick. Look, guys, for the whole VC, who do you guys want to speak for now? Because, to be honest, I don't think I'm properly tracking the convo. So for anybody in this VC, who do you guys want to speak? Is it Apollo or is it, or I'm about to say Axel, or is it Siba? Please tell me in the VC or tell me in chat. Do not waste our fucking time. If not, all right, Apollo said himself, he'll let Siba finish. All right, cool. Now, I'll make sure, right, now even if Siba like yaps too much, I'll just make sure that till he's done, like I'm going to just apply complete moderation. So when a person is done speaking, I'll get the other person who was speaking prior muted, and then the other person can get his response done. So there's no interruption. Because to be honest, like it's just getting annoying now. Is this Siba? Yeah, it's Siba. You can go speak.
All right, fucking finally. Holy shit, we got some moderation. I'm glad. So specifically, again, if you want me to give a more concise repetition of my point as I was trying to get or just grant, I said that my definition wouldn't necessarily not align because specifically speaking, you said, well, which is concretely existing. Existence would be implied to have some type of entailment of existing within some type of spatio-temporal space. As you said, that's what concretely existing is. I said, obviously, that would have the implications of being like physical. And even then, before, I agreed to the specific definition or sat there and, said, oh yeah, for the sake of moving on from this point about definitions, of course, for meta-ontological analysis, I sat there and specifically stated something which is, of course, caused by something that is not God, right? And then I proceeded to sit there and say, followed by this, right? Just make sure you're listening. It was followed by something concretely existing in some type of physicalist thing that is concretely existing, which you even granted existing within spatio-temporal things, right? So if you're going to sit here and say, oh yeah, this still does not align with the definition, despite granting that said analytics, you're going to make yourself look even more fucking retarded now that I'm actually capable of actually fucking speaking and not going on this, wait, answer this, yes or no, fucking TikTok fucking star fucking going in, oh yeah, double or not, give it to the next person looking at us. Holy shit, man. That's what got me angry because I keep going on this shit, right? But moving on to another point. You're asking me if imaginations exist, right? My definition is only aligned towards physical things. And then you ask me, oh yeah, is it logically possible for non-concrete things to exist? If you're going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm going to use imagination to sit here and prove this to you that it's logically possible. My definition is only bilateral, which bilateral is only thing assigned to one specific thing. That means it's applied towards concretely existing. It's not unilateral with, subjective experience. If you think subjective is experience is the same as concretely existing within the same space or something like that, you're going to choose a conflation, the stance of that. And I want you to go ahead and give the, justification for the said worldview or conflation, the stance about those specific existences, about reality, right? Holy shit, man. I'm finally able to speak, right? Let's get on to the other point real quick. Again, I want to, track over this point about God's existence, just the definitions point, right? I was trying to ask you under the operation, oh yeah, is it agreeing or trying to sit here and say, oh yeah, let's just argue over this specific definition, which then you answered like fucking three attempts later, you answered, you sat there and say, oh yeah, it's agreeing, right? Again, I was trying to give my own definition and obviously say, oh yeah, it's not in alignment with, specifically Abrahamic religions. I was talking about my analytics, not your analytics. Okay. So we can finally track instead of you having this fucking, mic control, conversation control with, now that we have moderation, I can finally fucking speak and, just stop being an asshole about things and just let things flow continuously so we can actually have a proper conversation, stop being bad faith. And that's my fucking responses towards specific things and affirmative claims, right? Your affirmative claim being, oh yeah, it does not line up with, the philosophical definitions when clearly it does. If the concrete is being used, that definition has to be applied because that's what's, typically speaking about existence. And even if you want to say, oh yeah, that's a pause, that's the specific thing I want to bring up. Holy shit, man. It's still implied. And I wanted you to, it's just semantically ambiguous because you can't figure it out, but informally you already figured it out, so I don't see why, that would have any problems because, first of all, you just defined it and then you said, oh yeah, that's not your
Wait. My bad. Hold on. Wait.
You don't find any fucking problem with the definition I provided. Holy shit, man. Go ahead.
Give me a second. Hold on. Let me put you on mute real quick. I had to do something, so I'll go on mute. I'll let Apollo talk. For the meantime.